Hello students, welcome to your next bio class. Now in this session we are going to start with a new lesson, that is economic importance of bacteria and fungi. Dear students, you have studied the structure of bacteria and you have also studied some of its harmful effects and the diseases caused by bacteria. But now what we are going to study is its economic importance. Actually, bacteria are very important, or we can say helpful for us in various fields, such as in the field of medicine, in the field of agriculture, in industry, and etc. So this is what generally we say economic importance of bacteria, and then in the later part we will study economic importance of fungi. So before we take economic importance of bacteria, we will have a look towards the general study. We will study about the structure and the mode of nutrition and reproduction in bacteria. So let's have a quick look. Bacteria, a general study. So bacteria are most primitive unicellular organisms. You have studied in chapter 1 that bacteria come in prokaryotes. If you remember, prokaryotes, the organisms which do not have true nucleus in their cell. They are single cellular, made up of only one cell, so we call them unicellular, and they are most primitive, and the chromosome is without nucleus. It is naked, without any nucleus, without any covering, and it lies openly in the cytoplasm. Bacteria are so numerous and everywhere. Bacteria are found everywhere. We have talked about earlier also. They are present in air, water, soil, foodstuffs, inside the human bodies. Even some of the remote places, such as bacteria can be present in hot springs. They can be present in volcanoes, in the ice glaciers. Okay, means they are so numerous and they are present almost everywhere. Then in our own body, in fact, in our own body, bacteria are present. There are hundreds and thousands of bacteria in the mouth, skin, intestine, genital tracts, like that. And these bacteria are mostly beneficial. Some of them are harmful, but many of them are beneficial. Then size. You know that size of bacteria are smallest living organisms. So their size varies from 2 micrometers long to 0.5 micrometer thick. 1 micrometer is 1,000th of a millimeter. Just you see your scale and see how much is a millimeter, and just you see what would be the size if we cut it into 1,000th part. So that means they are extremely small. They are visible only under microscope. Now we will study about the shape. Shape of bacteria is quite important, and depending upon the shape, the questions are normally asked that categorize bacteria according to its shape. So if we classify bacteria based upon its shape, bacteria can be either, what would you call this shape, round or spherical? This will be round or spherical. So round or spherical are known as cocci or coccus. Singular will be coccus and plural will be cocci. Then what is this shape? These are called rod shape. Rod shaped bacteria are called bacilli. So you need to learn the names. Bacilli. Again singular will be bacillus and plural will be bacilli. Then bacteria can be spiral shaped. This shape can be called as spiral. So spiral shaped will be called spirilla. Spirilla, or singular will be spirillum. And bacteria can be of this shape, means this is, what is this shape? This can be called as comma. So comma shape. Comma shape is known as vibrios. So there you have to study these 4 names according to the shape and their diagram also. Round or spherical cocci, rod shaped bacilli, spiral shaped spirilla, and comma shaped vibrios. Now let's see in our book. So this is round, that is coccus. Coccus when present in 2, then we say diplococcus, in 2s. They are joined in 2. If they are joined in a chain like this but single, then we say streptococcus chains. And if they are joined in bunches like this, we call it staphylococcus. So coccus refers to round bacteria. It can be diplo, strepto or staphylo. And this is rod shaped bacteria. As I told you, we call it bacilli. Then we have, this is spiral shape, we call it spirillum or spiral or curved also you can say. And this is comma shaped as vibrios. Okay, so learn these 4 names. Then let us come to the structure. Structure you have already studied in chapter 1 and the same diagram is given in lesson 1. So once again you need to draw, and this is very very important, right? This is the single cell of bacteria. There is the cytoplasm, and in here you can find some granules which have glycogen stored in them. So we say glycogen granules. And this is the chromosome or the chromatin material which lies without any nuclear cover. So, and this whole together cell membrane, it has cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, bacterial chromosome, together we can say this is the protoplasm of the bacterial cell. Fine. Bacteria may or may not have flagella. These flagella are used for locomotion. Mostly bacteria do not have, then they do not show movement, but there is passive movement, means with the flow of water or with air they can be flown away or blown away here and there, right? And otherwise if they have flagella, then they can swim and with the help of these flagella. Some have 1 flagella, some have 2 diflagellate, they may be multi, so many flagella are there around all over the body. It depends on the various types of the bacteria structure. So they have cell membrane, they also have cell wall. And apart from this cell wall, but make sure that the cell wall is not made up of cellulose as in the case of plant cell. You need to underline here. It contains living substance protoplasm. Okay, protoplasm lies within the protoplasm that is covered by cell membrane, and there is bacterial chromosome and there is cell wall. The cell wall is made up of, please underline, peptidoglycan, a type of we can say carbohydrate, peptidoglycan, and not made up of cellulose as in case of plants. This question can come, what is bacterial cell wall made up of? You need to write peptidoglycan. Then thin cell membrane is present, and chromatin DNA is present in central region. This is without any covering. It is not enclosed in nuclear membrane, but it is attached to the cell at some point. Then cytoplasm contains vacuoles, granules, and in few cases maybe some green pigment also. Fine. So this is the structure. And apart from this cell wall, bacteria also have a slimy layer, slimy protective layer. We call it protective layer. This is called capsule. It is present outside the cell wall. It protects the bacteria. That is why they are able to survive everywhere. Okay. Next is movement. Movement, as I told you, movement can be passive if they do not have any flagella, means they can with the help of water or wind they can be blown away or flow sometimes in water, or either with the help of flashing whip like flagella which help in movement. Nutrition, if we see, bacteria are heterotrophic. They depend upon other organisms. Mostly bacteria are saprophytic. What are saprophytes? Those who draw nutrition from dead decaying organisms, or sometimes they are also parasites, parasitic. They draw nourishment from the bodies of living hosts. Fine. Then bacteria, they secrete powerful enzymes from their cells into the surrounding food, and with the help of these enzymes they can break down that soluble food, and then they are able to absorb in their cell. If we talk about respiration, bacteria, they can show, it depends. Some bacteria breathe with the help of oxygen, so we can say aerobic, and some can also respire without oxygen, so we say anaerobic bacteria. And anaerobic bacteria, if you give them oxygen, they will be killed, means they can respire only without oxygen. If we talk about reproduction, this you have studied that bacteria reproduces by binary fission, that is splitting. One cell splits into 2 after their lifespan, which is very short, that is 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, So before splitting, what happened? Now you see this diagram. This is the, let's say, the chromosome, which is made up of DNA. This DNA will first duplicate. So this is the another copy, and after duplicating, then there is a notch which is formed in the cell membrane, followed by cell wall. This notch deepens, and ultimately what we get is two cells. So one cell splits into two cells. So this is called fission, or you can also write binary fission, splitting of one cell into two, right? Here they have mentioned that some bacteria, they show very primitive type of bacteria. We can say that they show sexual reproduction. This sexual reproduction is actually by the means of conjugation. Conjugation means coming together. So there is one bacteria, there is another bacteria, they come close to each other. And suppose this is one bacteria, this is another. And you have read that there is a structure plasmid. This plasmid, then they form a conjugating tube and it is transferred from one cell to another. But this you will study in higher classes, right? Then bacteria, they have spores to overcome unfavorable conditions. Whenever there are unfavorable conditions, the bacteria, it draws all its content into a spherical mass, means the content will dry up like a spherical mass, and then it gets surrounded by a thick and hard protective wall. And this little surround body which is formed is known as spore. So you can see here, the protoplasm has dried up and it has formed a sort of round body, we call it spore, and now it is covered by a bacterial wall, and now this will help it to survive for many days. Means the bacteria can, this spore now can tolerate extreme dryness. It cannot be killed even by boiling water or frozen ice, that can also tolerate, and even the poisonous chemicals. So that is the reason that they are present everywhere, even in volcanoes, even under the glaciers, right? So we can say that spore formation or the spore formation helps bacteria to survive all kinds of unfavorable conditions. So let us have a quick look on the progress check. Name the three common shapes of bacteria. Just now we have studied cocci, bacilli, spirilla, vibrio, any three you can write down. Give the technical terms for the following patterns in pairs. In pairs we call diplococcus. Diplococcus. In long chains, streptococcus, strepto. And in clusters, staphylococcus. How list the kinds of nutrition in bacteria? Kind of nutrition is saprophytic and parasitic. What is the common method of reproduction? Common method is binary fission, or simply you can also write fission. Why do bacteria produce spores? They produce spores to escape unfavorable conditions. So dear student, this was all about the structure of bacteria and some of the general study. So just you revise it till we meet again in the next session. Thank you.